Hey everyone, Cahlen here, and in this video I want to talk a little bit about a feature which I have added to my website, Cahlen.org. So those of you who followed for a while are aware that Cahlen.org is basically hosted on IPFS, which is the InterPlanetary File System. So if you think it's a protocol, so it's similar to HTTP. But HTTP is basically a way for one computer to connect to another computer to access a file that only that computer has. With IPFS, basically, it's more of a decentralized thing. So if I know what file I want, I basically send out a request to the entire IPFS network system and say, I want this file. I don't really care where it comes from. Ideally, it comes from a place which is close to me and can deliver it quickly, right? So that's why it's called interplanetary, because if the file's only on Mars, then we'll have to go to Mars to get the file and it's going to be slow. But if there is a version of that same file present on Earth or even in your local city, then the system is going to preferentially pick that. So there's the benefit of only getting it from people who are local to you. There's the benefit of, as long as someone somewhere in the universe on the IPFS network has that file, then you're going to be able to access it, right? So basically every person who has looked at the file, if they're doing it through the actual IPFS protocol, then they have that file locally on their machine too, right? So everyone who looks at it is helping to host that file and make sure that it can't be censored. So anyways, my website runs on IPFS. The HTML is all running on IPFS. The videos are streaming through IPFS. Currently, it's running through a gateway that I run, but that's just basically because at this point I don't need to be super worried about getting really basically censored from the internet. But at a certain point, I will set up my content to be basically uncensorable, because I will basically be pinning it to servers all across the world in multiple places, and there's not going to be any way for them to stop that. And I'll have to tweak how my actual website syncs with things, because I may not at that point have a domain anymore. I may be blocked from having domains, like Cahlen.org may not exist anymore. So it'll have to be on the dark web or some other system like that. But anyways, my site's on IPFS, and it always has been for, I think, probably almost 2 years. I'm not quite sure how long it's been, but it's been a while. But anyways, you weren't really able actually to see the IPFS files, and now I've set it up so that you can basically just scroll to the bottom of any web page on Cahlen.org, click on the link, and it's going to take you to the structure for all of my videos. So let's just take a look at that real quick. Okay, so here's my website. Looks basically the same as always. All of these images and videos are hosted on IPFS. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, now there's this link here that says all videos on IPFS. So this is going to take us to a directory, a folder, which I added to IPFS, and basically added all of the files inside of the folder to IPFS as well. So this is all of my videos along with their thumbnails sorted by year. So for those of you who want to watch some of my older videos, you can go to 2017 or whatever you're looking for. Let's actually look up my very first video, the compost toilet video, when I moved into the Mongolian Gyre. So here we go. This is old school. It's a long time ago. And then you can also watch the video if you want. And of course you have access to all the videos since 2017, and if you want to watch the latest ones, you don't have to do it through my website. You can do it through this directory if you want. Scroll to the bottom, and there's the rattlesnake beans video. So I just thought I'd share that for all of you who, I know some people who have been wanting to go back and watch my earlier videos have found it not to be the easiest thing to do, because you have to keep going back in the pages on the website. So it can take you a while to get back there and to scroll through them. So this will allow you to select them. It also lets you look at how IPFS works when using it as a directory structure. Most people who use IPFS are aware you can put specific files up, but you can also put directories, right, which can contain other directories and all the other files. And if you add that directory, it's going to add all of those files to IPFS as well, which means if any of those files get added later on, separately without the parent file structure, that file is already going to exist, right? Because it got added originally. So anyways, that's probably a little bit complicated for people who aren't like really gung-ho about IPFS, but I just thought I'd let you know about that. Also, if you ever want to help me basically secure my files and all of my videos and make sure that they never ever go anywhere, you can run an IPFS node on your computer, or just run IPFS Companion as I think it's an extension, an add-on that you can add to like a Chrome browser and stuff like that. Basically, you can just find that little code. So if you look at ipfs.cahlen.org/IPFS, and then there's that code there. If you take that code, you can pin that code, and your computer is basically going to automatically grab the directory structure and all of the files in it and keep them locally on your computer and basically distribute them to people who are trying to watch them. So anyways, all it takes is for one person to have them, and it's basically accessible to anyone as long as that computer is on the network. So anyways, I just thought I'd let you guys know about that. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider sharing it. If you'd like to help me out in a more substantial way, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/gift. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with me, whether publicly or privately, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/one-on-one. Thanks again for watching.